Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Struggling today with this. I can't find a specific card that I was going to show off, but it's not actually supposed to be in the deck. So I'm just going to end up saying it when we get there, so that's just a forewarning. Second warning, I have a solid amount of content planned to be made, with no guarantees, no scripts, but just a good bit of things that I plan on trying, and so we'll see how I feel after I do those things, and if I feel like this ain't for me, then this is just a good documentation of where I'm currently at in Cardfight Vanguard and where I feel like I am. But if I enjoy it, then I'll just keep with it, and we'll see how I do. So of course you saw today's video title. It is a Lascaria deck profile, and you might be saying, Ron, that's not out yet, except for in Japan. How can you do that? You're American, and proxies. Gray proxies from the top deck heroes, because I don't have color in my printer, and I'm not about to go buy color from my printer for this exact video, because I'm not going to complain about having black and white cards. So first and foremost, our starter is our grade 0 Lascaria. Sorry about the glare, I'll try and hold him like this. She's adorable, but basically a generic kind of starter. You can run any starter that you really want, but of course I like the Lascaria theme anyways, so I'm down. And then of course we're going with the grade 1 ride line, the Lascaria ride line, so the grade 1 and grade 2 in tandem with each other. I will say something you could do is run the Zorga ride line. Zorga grade 0 and grade 1. However, with that ride line, you are forced to discard a card, specifically an order, and if you're discarding a blitz order, you don't get to add it back to hand, so then you would want to ride it. This, it's messy. Honestly, just play this one, it's way better. So the grade 1 has the ability when rode upon by the grade 2, Lascaria, search your deck for a grade 2 or greater blitz card that is, or blitz order that isn't the Regalis piece, put it to your hand, shuffle your deck. So free, +1, but less aggression. You know, of course you could also run the Roto or grade 0, grade 1 if you want more aggression. All completely up to you. Then the grade 2 says, when rode upon by a grade 3 Lascaria, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 normal unit with Veleno in its card name, or up to 1 blitz order from among them, and then reveal it, put it to your hand, shuffle your deck. So all in all, +1, you're plussing 2 off of your ride line after ditching 2 to get them. I think it's completely worth it, completely valid to just run this ride line. But like I said, I mean, there are other options, just in case you would rather a more aggressive, I've got plant token on field with Rotowa, or I've got more deck thinning because of the Zorga grade 1 Ranker Chain. Of course, pulling it all together is the grade 3 Lascaria. Of course, she's got Veleno in her card name as well. She's got 2 abilities. Excuse me. A continuous Vanguard circle during your turn. If you have 3 or more units with the Veleno in their card names, all of your units with Veleno in their card names get power plus 5,000, and then if you have 5 or more, and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, unit gets critical +1. So, of course, plant tokens aren't always perfect. They don't have the Veleno card name, obviously, but it would still be a body on board, and it does still help the early game, and that is something that the deck does need, so it's something to consider. Second ability, auto, Vanguard circle. At the end of the battle, this unit was attacked and was not hit. You played a blitz order that battle, draw a card, and if you didn't countercharge this turn, I think this is an amazing combination of free plussing from your ride line, and then free defensive plussing, as well as offensive pressure from your main boss, grade 3. But, that being said, let's get into the rest of the deck. I'll pick a ride line over there. Let's start with the grade 0s. So for this deck, I am currently running Frenzied Eris, your atypical front trigger 20k shield. I like the additional pressure that getting a front gives you when you have standing rear guards, as opposed to the draw trigger. When this deck already has a good amount of draw, you might just mill yourself out, and that's not always the best. And then I'm running 3 typical heals, and then 1 restanding heal. Of course, it's completely up to you how you want to play, but Leonorn and Mushi King running rampant and the potential of Varga coming around, I'm not excited to have to deal with multi-attack. So I'm just saying, I really like Asher in this meta. Again, personal opinion, so it's not really me saying you have to do this, it's just me saying this is what I'm doing. Running 4 typical crits, Elena, 3 other typical crits, because your Vanguard already has a crit, so no point in running too many. And then I'm running Bless Favor. I think Bless Favor doing 1 of every trigger is just amazing anyways, so I never want to give that up. Let's go into the grade 3s. Skip around from grade 0 to grade 3. Now let's go to grade 1, excuse me, I'm so sorry. So first and foremost, you'll want to run your 1 of Elementaria. Of course, Elementaria is a blitz order, so when you play a blitz order, Elementaria could count. You can draw, you could potentially countercharge. I think Elementaria is absolutely worth it. Currently have 3 planar Prevent Dragon. Of course, this is going to switch over to the Honeycomb Xyrus as soon as we get that in English, but, you know, 3 other PGs. Currently also running 2 Diantha, as I think this deck is weak to Retire. It's got its own issues, but Diantha is that extra little bit of resurrection that's good for the deck. And then 4 Fiore. So drop 3. Here's what this one says. I think this is the actual freest, bestest card in the entire deck, so just a heads up. First and foremost, auto when placed on Rearguard Circle if you have Vanguard with Lascaria. Counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 Veleno or a Blitz order from among them. Reveal it, put it to your hand, shuffle your deck, and then plus 2k if you have a Lascaria Vanguard. You can call this down turn 1, turn 2, depending on if you have damage. Use its ability, plus, and then it's a 10k attacker. And so like you get free hand, free field, whatever you really want off of her ability, and that is absolutely worth it. Counterblast, 12 out of 10. I need more of this, except more of that would just make the deck way too good. So going on to our grade 2s, we are running 4 Veleno Famiglia Melial. Excuse me. Got 3, 1. So she is the ability. When placed on Rearguard Circle other than during your battle phase, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Lascaria, discard a card from your hand, choose a card with a different card name from this unit from your drop zone, call it to Rearguard Circle. If it's a grade 3 or less unit with Veleno, and put it to your hand if it's a blitz order. So this is the other recursion. So you've got Diantha and her. You can choose between Counterblast 1, call 1, or discard 1 and add 1. So I like it, and I think overall she's just a good card. Helps get blitz orders if you discard them early in the game, and I don't know, trade out like a crit trigger for a blitz order, something like that. Also running 2 Sea Rumble Brave Shooter. He's the new generic triple rare from the set. When discarded or put on Guardian Circle from hand, when put on Guardian Circle from hand or discarded from hand while riding from the ride deck, Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3, draw a card. This has come up on occasion as like a tanky card to help you stay alive longer, and it's honestly just huge. Then auto, when placed on Rearguard Circle, if you Persona Road this turn, which is why I'm only running 2, you don't really see too much of it. Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3, again, you get a choice. Choose a grade 2 or less normal unit with a different card name from this unit and without Sentinel from your drop. Or an order card from your drop zone. Put it to hand, choose a card from your hand and discard it. That will come into play later with another card that we run, but I just think that's a really good overall ability, kind of tanky. The one card that I'm still not 1000% certain on, but I have a frameware, so I'm currently running it. Morpho, Hallucinatory Morpho. I love her. I think she's adorable and sometimes good in this deck. She's got 2 abilities. When it attacks, if your drop zone is a Blitz Order, Soul Blast 1 plus 10k until end of battle, so she's a 20k attacker on her own, 30 on a Persona, pretty good. And then end of battle, it attacks Vanguard, Counterblast 1, find this unit. Search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 or greater Blitz Order without Regardless Beast. Reveal it, put it to hand, shuffle your deck. If your drop zone is a Blitz Order, you may search for a normal order instead. I think that is also really good. It's basically an additional blitz order searcher if you really need it, but honestly, the reason she's at 1 right now is because I can't really decide between which one I want, and I'm liking him more for the secondary ability of being able to get orders from drop zone or cards from drop zone, as opposed to just blitz order and normal order from deck. So it's really up to you, but this is where I'm at with it. Then we're running 4 of the absolute best blitz order ever printed. Effervescent Shadow Dreamblade. Energy Blast 2, choose a unit being attacked, power plus 20,000 until the end of the battle, and then you can play another blitz order this turn. Basically, Energy Blast 2 plus 20, Energy Blast 2 plus 20, Energy Blast 2 plus 20, Energy Blast 2 plus 20. You could guard with up to 4 if you really just chain them, and then add another one on top. It's crazy. Of course, Lascaria can draw you cards if you guard with said cards, so I think that's value. Then the other one we're running is Sweet Honey Garden. Of course, yes, Framer as well. Soul Blast 1, your unit gets 15k until end of battle. If your drop zone has a blitz order, 25 instead. Came with Morpho. It's better than Morpho, offense intended. Morpho's good, just not that good. That's all there is to say about it. And then I'm running, of course, because the way I'm playing is tanky with late game push, is Nectar of Sensationalism. Choose one of your rear guards, and until end of turn, it gets power plus 5k for every 5 cards in your drop zone, and if your drop zone has 15 or more cards, it gets critical plus 1. This is the normal order I was saying you could get back with him. I like to use him in tandem with a grade 3, so let's start with the grade 3s. Of course, we've got 3 more Persona rides, I don't have to explain that. And then 4, Veleno Caporegime Eriphis. He is amazing. Rearguard circle once per turn at the end of the battle. Your grade 3 or greater Lascaria in its Vanguard with Lascaria and its card name attack. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, so you can't really just like blitz the crap out of them and kill them, but you know, it's still fair. Counterblast 1, stand this unit. If you have 3 or more units with Veleno, power plus 5k until end of turn. So you can literally just commit this and have your Vanguard and swing 3 total times, bigger numbers. Pairing this with him late game to gain 15k and a crit, plus Lascaria's 5k, plus his 5k. Let's say it's on a Persona ride turn, so that's 13, 23 from Persona, 5k from Lascaria, 15 from this, so we're already at plus 30k, so he's 43 with a crit. Restand, gain another 5k. And of course you're gonna have a booster, so that's pretty nuts. The last card I'm currently running, of course we're in 50 deck format, is this Regalis piece, and this is another one where I'm kind of iffy. Same thing with Morpho, like I said. The Evergreen Transfer. It is a Regalis. Hello, focus. It is a Regalis. Soul Blast 1 plus 25k until end of battle. Choose your Vanguard and it gets continuous. All of your opponents 100 million attack power or greater units get critical -1 until end of turn. Anti-OT, 25k guard power, blitz order. I think this is one of the only decks where you can run Evergreen Transfer, so I'm currently doing it. Pretty sure I'm going to switch it out for, I don't remember what it's called, but the new Regalis piece that gives your board resist. Youth Burke is evil, Shiranui is evil. You know, there's a lot of retire, and like I said, I'm running Diantha and this all for a reason. I don't want my cards in drop zone, I want them on my board. Lastly, because I have spent a little bit of time actually preparing, these are the cards that I could suggest you might want to consider running if you don't have enough money for Morpho. If you would rather run any other Regalis piece, you can literally run any other Regalis piece. It's up to you. If you don't feel like running Nectar of Sensationalism because this is a very late game card, if you don't have the money for Diantha, things like that. Certain techs you can run, certain scenarios that they are good in, things like that. So first and foremost is the one that I couldn't find. It is Ghost Chased. He has the ability to, on play as a blitz order, give one of your units being attacked plus 5k, so it's literally a 5k shield, but then you choose one of your rear guards on your field that is not being attacked and bounce it to your hand. I think that's huge. You get to play her again, play her again, play him again. Any of your rear guards, you get to be able to bounce the hand and play them again. It is huge. Then we have Fine Drink of Abolishment for Sins. He's really cool looking, but he's a Soul Blast 1. Hello. 5k and draw a card. So just straight draw a card. Choose one of your units plus 5k until end of battle for each order card with a different card name in your drop zone and bind zone. 5, 10, 15 at best plus an extra draw. It's not bad, but this is just straight 15 or 25. This is 20, this is 25. This one costs a soul, this one costs a soul, this one costs energy. Why would you want to run this and instead of do 25 and guard, potentially only do like 5, 10, and then draw an additional card that could just be one of like these two. You know, no shield or 5k shield. Garbage. It's alright, it's not the best. This card is so bad. Call of the Beast. Choose one of your units plus 5k until end of battle. If you're 3 or more back row rear guards, plus 15 instead. It's bad, but it's a blitz order. You could run it. Sealed Path. I wanted to go over this card because I think it's amazing. Counterblast 2. Choose one of your opponent's vanguards. That unit gets critical and -1 until end of battle. Two things. You won't get the draw off of your Lascaria because you will still technically get hit even though there is no damage. So, bad. Don't do it. It is still there. It is still a blitz order, so it's something I wanted to cover real quick, but it's not worth your time. I also wanted to cover Margaret. This is an older cycle card. When discarded from hand during your ride phase, Soul Blast 1, bot deck draw. I think that's an amazing ability. And then secondary ability, if you Persona Road one place on rearguard circle, doesn't have to be from hand. Counterblast 1, your opponent loses intercept and stuns their 2 front row rear guards. I think she's an amazing card. You could run her instead of him or Morpho, or if you wanted to drop Nectar and just have more cards, I think that would be fine. Booper Stinger, he's interesting. He looks dope, I will say. I love him. He came with Morpho, but he's a 13k attacker or booster or attacker if you have 2 or more blitz orders in your drop zone. And then when placed, Counterblast 1, search your deck for Sweet Honey Garden. Nothing else, just Sweet Honey Garden. So that's okay, but realistically, instead of searching out another blitz order, I'd rather search out a card from my drop zone with Diantha, so I'm not going to use my Counterblast 1 Booper. Burrow Mushrooms, because it's Stoicheia, we have the chance to put him to soul and get 2 plant tokens. That's just Stoicheia things. And then 2 potential replacements for Nectar, in my personal opinion. Gather Upon Me, Ye Wandering Souls just has you discard an order card to get an additional drive. So if you're like, I'm going to triple drive on you and discard this order or this order because you have no energy left or something like that, sure. Not bad, but this is the cheaper alternative anyways, so just a heads up. We also have Overcoming the Unnatural Death, Counterblast 1, bind this card, choose up to 2 order cards from your drop zone, put them in your hand. So play during your turn, Counterblast 1, add Sweet Honey Garden, Dreamblade, Transsphere. It literally just says 2 order cards. Even Elementaria if you haven't actually PG'd with it. And then lastly, I wanted to state Alchemic Hedgehog. This is the anti-crit one. It's just up to you. Like I said, I'm all for the anti-restander one, but yeah, those were my additional suggestions, but this is the one I'm currently testing with. I really like the late game vibe of it, and I might choose to go one or the other ways with this, so that way I'm not running a 1 of Morpho or a 2 of this. I probably will go 3 of one of the 2 of them. We'll see what happens. Either way, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope my content can stay at least for a little while, and I appreciate any support, likes, comments, subscriptions, anything that you are able to, willing to, wanting to give. I hope you have a wonderful night. Take care.